My handle is Chris Peebles. I guess by trade, I'm a street poet. That's what I put on my taxes. I wander here and there, enlightening people. It's just this something I discovered at a young age that I could put words together, and that's what I'm here to talk about: putting words together. You see, we live in troublesome times. Mic stands don't work very well. There's also a lot of hunger, all kinds of woe and strife on this planet, and it's a bummer. But see, as a poet, as a practitioner of capital K creation, it's my duty to help guide people in the right direction towards a better world. You see, because it's only through harpoons of the mind that we can vanquish the great orca of anguish and woe. So to that end, I'll be reading a couple selections today by a good friend of mine by the name of John Steighmeaus. And I know what you're thinking, the John Steighmeaus, and yes, you're correct, the noted short story writer. He spells it with A-W-N. So this first one is one of John's better known works. It's called Jason. It's a short story. Jason was a public servant, following in the footsteps of his hero, Todd Stewart, no doubt. I never respected him for it, but looking back, I probably should have. After all, he introduced me to my first and third wives, saved my life on several occasions, and got me that flask with Bronson Pinchot on it for Armistice Day. If I had known hindsight was 20/20 back then, I might have considered doing things differently. Jason wanted me to keep him company at the regional medical center. I wasn't about to deny a dying man what was ostensibly his final wish. Anyways, I had years of being a complete asshole to him to make up for. But as I sat there ladling watery oatmeal on his third-degree burns, I realized I could do him one better. Do you remember when we used to go on the road trips, Jay? I asked, before taking a generous chomp out of a hospital-issued root beer popsicle. I do, my friend, Jason replied, coughing up bits of charred internal organ. I forgot he wasn't supposed to talk, but at least he didn't have a brain freeze. What do you say, old pal? One more time? If Jason could nod, he would have, but instead he just clenched his eyes shut and quivered his head a little. I guess this is Lava Beast victim for yes. On the way to the car, I accidentally put Jason out of his misery. How was I supposed to know that the air outside the quarantine ward would tear through his immune system like a bag of hot knives? The warning sign that said so is covered up by my hoodie. Now I'm being charged for involuntary manslaughter. No good deed goes unpunished, I guess. So as you can see, I'm sure parts of your brain have been awakened. I think we only use about 9% of our brains, and you should all be using about 13 at this point. Now I got another gem from John. It's another one of his, it's a lesser known tale. It's more of a children's story, but being the discerning adults you are, you can appreciate it as well. I mean, you don't have to be a tween to understand it. It's kind of ageless or timeless. It applies to all ages. It's the genius of Mr. Steighmeaus. Anyways, this is called Staring Contest. They sat and stared, like the staring contest of time's now only particles of a memory, dangling tenuously on the horizon of dream, but this time not for keeps. In their salad days, they play for bubblegum, poster putty, power tools, whatever they could get their sticky paws on. But then the precipitation swept through, and actually swept corruption and decadence off the streets. Swift, uncompromising, no quarter for the wicked. After that, the old friends could man their respective seated positions, unfettered by unsavory thoughts and urges. One would sip Drambuie rocks, the other tap water. With a new lease, both on life and their third-story walk-up artist's loft, the pair were content to exchange 17-foot stares, piercing each other's retinas for minutes at a time. Look who's laughing now, world, the valiant warriors would guffaw as they reclined to saw logs after an arduous day of ocular combat. They had elbow room now. They climbed out of the quicksand pit of crazy tales and warm booze and carved out their own little piece of Valhalla. Now they could die happy, as the broken factories rhythmically belched out uniform black plumes. like clockwork in the wasteland. So yeah, visionary. That goes without saying. So I just think, the world, there's bad things about it. But it's not the world itself that's bad. It's just kind of on the wrong course right now. And I think only through engaging in creativity and creative pursuits can we hope to just give the world a little nudge in the right direction. So I hope I've done my small part tonight. Thank you all.